Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to tell you about the story, The Price of Trust. This video is very interesting, so watch the video till the end. In late spring 2020, Marsalek, an Austrian bank executive, was suspended from his job. He was a broad man admired person in the European business community, charismatic, trilingual and well-traveled. Even in your busiest times, as Chief Operating Officer of Wirecard, Germany's fastest-growing financial technology company. Marsalek's identity was no different from that of the company, a global payment processor headquartered in. It had a banking license in and out of Munich. He joined it in 2000, on his 20th birthday, when it was a startup. He had no formal qualifications or work experience, but showed unwavering dedication to Wirecard's development. The company eventually earned the trust of Germany's political and financial elite, who considered it Europe's answer to PayPal. When Wirecard wanted to acquire a Chinese company, Chancellor Angela Merkel personally took up the matter with President Xi Jinping. Then, on June 18, 2020, Wirecard announced that almost €2 billion were missing from the company. This amount was the sum of all the profits Wirecard had ever reported as a public company. There were only two possibilities. The money was stolen, or it never existed. Wirecard's board placed Marsalek on temporary leave. The missing money is believed to have been kept in two parts: banks in the Philippines and Wirecard's Asia operations were under Marsalek's purview. Before leaving office that day, he told people he was going to Manila to locate the money. Philippine immigration records show that Marsalek entered the country 4 days later, on the 23rd of June. But as almost everything about Wirecard, the records were fake. Although Austrians are generally not allowed to double, in terms of citizenship, Marsalek held at least 8 passports, including diplomatic cover from the tiny Caribbean nation. Wirecard's rising stock price was perceived as a sign that the business was trustworthy, that its critics were ignorant or corrupt. German business newspaper Handelsblatt told Wirecard's CEO called upon a mastermind who appeared. The timing was accidental. 18 months later, in July 2008, as a budding reporter at the Financial Times, Macron was sent to New York, where he witnessed the collapse of Lehman Brothers and the chaos that followed. At the end of the year, Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme was exposed, causing investors to lose approximately $65 billion. Poor, Macron recalled, "It felt like we were on the other side of the glass. If a fraud of that magnitude was hidden clearly, then anything can be fake." In 2000, a year after Wirecard was formed, it was almost liquidated, partly because it had hired Marsalek to oversee it. The following year, Braun arranged a short buyout of Wirecard, raising capital from the investing public German bank, for about €18 million. In October 2006, the United States passed a law that made online betting illegal. The act was an existential threat to Wirecard's business. Most of the major payment processors have steered their U.S. customers away from gambling. However, Wirecard took advantage of a loophole. The law allowed games of skill, which theoretically included poker. In 2007, the company acquired and spun off another payments unit, an Irish firm specializing in online poker, Auditor. That year, Wirecard reported a 62% increase in revenue. In 2010, the U.S. government charged a German man living in Florida who was linked to Wirecard with money laundering. He pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of conducting an unlicensed money transfer operation, and claims he does not know who paid his legal fees. Wirecard apparently laundered at least $500 million. Only through a willful misunderstanding, the value of the gambling proceeds. And the German person had transferred to the American gamblers approximately $70 million, the funding of which comes from Wirecard Bank. On February 8, 2019, Germany's financial regulator known as BaFin issued a ban on making new short bets against Wirecard, citing the company's importance to the economy. That was the moment they turned aside. With criminals, a German parliamentarian later said. On the same day, prosecutors in Munich confirmed the German newspaper said that they have launched a criminal investigation. But they weren't going after Wirecard, the FT were going after In 2014, Marsalek led an effort at Wirecard in partnership with private Swiss and Lebanese banks to issue anonymous debit cards with up to €2 million per year preloaded. In his pitch, he said MasterCard says such cards would save ultra-high net worth individuals the hassle of being solicited. Stock tips. For example, when a waiter took a credit card and knew the customer's name. But it's hard to imagine a more useful setup for covert operating expenses. An anonymous asset that everyone acknowledges, perfect for bribing politicians, paying assassins, or moving large amounts of cash across borders. January. Marsalek's getaway jet lands in Minsk. From there he probably went to Moscow on a fake passport. With the assistance of Petlinsky, according to the Dozier Center, an investigative organization. Both men have changed their names. Petlinsky's whereabouts are unknown. Next month, Germany sent extradition requests for Marsalek from Russian law enforcement agencies. He replied that he had no address for Marsalek, and there is no record of him entering the country. His last known phone activity was last year. It's hidden in one place quite clearly, just because of how all kinds of systems work when you're travel, private investigator John told me. Whenever a passport is scanned in another country, we can get those records here. The price of trust. Please subscribe the channel for more interesting facts like this. Like, share and comment on the video as much as possible. Thank you for watching.